For the past 6 months, I've been exchanging letters with an inmate. Now, before I even start this video, I just want to let you guys know that this is pretty heavy hitting.
It's been over 2 months. I finally got a letter back.
There's some stuff in this video that could be traumatic or trigger warning and all that stuff.
Because when he was little, he was such a bright, happy.
This all started out with just being curious about what life is like in prison, and it turned into so much more. All the people who I wrote to consented into being in this video. All the people that I spoke to also consented to being in this video. I have approval from all the people that I will feature in this video to post it.
So we're currently on the phone with Corrections Service Canada. It's basically like the prison system in Canada.
But I just want to let you guys know it is pretty heavy hitting, and I myself was debating whether or not I should even share this. So it all started 6 months ago.
Okay, so this is the government website, writing to an inmate. The envelope should have the inmate's name and center of envelope, and you should write the name of institution. All right, so basically I could write to an inmate as long as I know where they're staying and their name. But the thing is, they have privacy, so I can't figure out this information. So we have to actually go through a third party, I think. Oh, here we go. Oh damn, there's a bunch here. Connor, Aaron, robbery, assault. Holy shit. Nathan, first-degree murder. Okay, wait, let's look at the women, female inmates. Lisa, hi, my name is Lisa. I love bees. Stephanie, Indigenous, wears glasses, convicted of first-degree murder. Expected release date, life. Yo, okay, we gotta find someone who's like, maybe in for like, I don't know, man, burglary or something, like jaywalking. Do they have people? Mary, I'm 37 and I'm a whooping 4'11" tall, but you know what they say, dynamite comes in small packages. What have I gotten myself into? Hey Stephanie, my name is Peter, and I am from Toronto. Came across your profile here and wanted to get to know you. I also love horror movies too. I have a Chucky doll. Sincerely, your pen pal, Peter. It sucks because a lot of these inmates are like in the US, and if I send a letter to the US, I don't think it'll be quick enough, number one, and number two, it might get lost in transit. Second-degree murder. Dude, this girl's been in prison since she was 15. I heard you write a lot of poetry. We're gonna print these out, but we're gonna type out some more letters to people across Canadian prisons, and we're gonna see if any of them hit me back. Hopefully they do, but I'm really interested in like what their life is like. I found you on the internet, and I was just wondering, what is prison like? Now, I'm gonna send this from a P.O. box. I don't wanna tell you guys what this person did. I will say that they're not getting out anytime soon. I am gonna say that. They're not getting out anytime soon. This is like the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. I don't know what to expect, but I'm low-key excited to see if this person's actually gonna write back. So we're gonna go mail this out.
I'm not kidding when I tell you I wrote over 50 letters to 50 different inmates.
So it's been almost a month. No one's gone back to me.
So I got a letter back. It was returned to me because apparently she moved to another facility in Winnipeg. So they gave me the address here. So we're gonna resend this letter to her new address. Every week I would check the mail, nothing. 2 weeks go by, nothing. So I decided to actually call the correctional facilities that I was writing to see if I was doing something wrong.
Grand Valley Institution, how can I help you?
Hi, good afternoon. I just have a question for you. Do you guys have a pen pal program?
Well, that's a good question, and I'm not the right person to answer it.
Thank you for calling Correctional Service of Canada.
BCI Medium.
Our regular business hours are
Please hold. I will send you to the NC and they can answer that.
Cool, thanks.
Hello, you have reached the Bath Institution.
At the tone, please record your message.
I finally got a letter back. Okay, I finally got a letter back. This is from Ken Bowman. from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Let's see what Ken said. I don't know why I'm nervous, dude. It's double-sided. Here, let me show you guys a little close-up. It's hard to read because of the cursive. I'm not that good at reading cursive. Hi, Peter. It's nice to meet new people that want to build friendship and see where things go. Well, to answer one of your questions of what I did before I was tried, I was a carpenter that had all the hours, just needed to find... Dude, this is hard to read. Fuck. I wanted to own my own construction business to help my family. Like my motto is, help people when they need it. I like when I do things right and precise. I take pride in my work and do my best. I am very active and I love the outdoors. I am a good-looking, caring, independent man that's been through so much trauma in life with physical, mental, and sexual alone. Treated like no one loved them in this world. An only child, moved from home to home all my life and been years of feeling alone, unloved as a child, and bullied in school most of my life. I am tired of the fear, the loneliness, the sadness, and the violence. I'm ready to have that happy ending, to build my life, to be loved, and to love. Well, enough about me. What about you? Interests, looks, life, career. Who is Peter? And that's it. This is a long letter. Now, I need to read this again so I can reply and write a letter back. Seems like he had a pretty rough upbringing, tough time in school, getting bullied, moved from home to home. But he said, I will not let my past affect my present or my future.
Okay, so I finished my letter back. It's pretty long. Basically just telling him about myself. You know, I'm 30, I make videos, I worked as a personal trainer before, I enjoy nature, I have 2 cats, the whole shebang. And then I also ended it off with kind of like questions on like, what does he do? I said, how do you spend your time? What's your day like? I want to ask you, is everything okay in there? You know, you watch all these movies and TV shows of what it's like in prison, but you always wonder if that's true. Yeah, I just told him like, I asked him, what do you think your life will look like in the next couple of years? Like, what do you want to accomplish? What are your goals? We're going to wait to hear back. I'm kind of curious now. Who knows? Maybe I'll get more from different people. All right, everybody. Exciting news. We got another letter. This isn't from Ken. This is from Phil, someone named Phil, okay? This was dated Friday, July 18th. As you guys can see, the writing is like pristine. Nothing against Ken, it's just I couldn't read it. Okay, hello and good day to you. I'm a part of a few organizations' pen pal lists, so which one did you come into contact with to become interested to drop me a line? As well, how old are you? Do you have a job? If so, what do you do for a living? What's your sexual attraction? Gay, bisexual, straight, trans? What's your ethnicity, weight, and height? Do you practice religion? Are you spiritual, etc.? I was gonna try Islam, but I cannot suppress my homosexual desires, thoughts, or personality. 5 to 6 days a week I work out. I work out either in my cell, in the weight pit, or both. Most of my days are spent sitting in my cell, writing letters, and listening to music. Being incarcerated has caused me lots of physical, mental, and spiritual pain and suffering. I'm institutionalized and really fear getting released one day. I'm sure that when the time comes for my release that I'll just hurt someone again just to stay institutionalized. I've already done so many times, I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to die either. A lot of convicts will disagree with me, but as long as I have 24/7 food security and home, I should be fine. That's why I like to be incarcerated. By the time I'm released from prison again, most likely my world will be deceased. My world being my mom. I don't know yet how long of a sentence I may get, but I'm expecting 7 to 12 years. This will be my 3rd federal sentence. I'm currently charged with 2 counts assault on a peace officer, 2 prison guards, and 1 count manslaughter on a federal prison inmate. It's looking like I'll be sentenced in September or October 2025. From September 2013 to September 2017, I was incarcerated. From January 1st, 2018 to present, I've been incarcerated. 4 months in the last 12 years, I have not been incarcerated. Wouldn't you say that I am institutionalized? Too late to change that. Well, I'll wrap this up here and send it out Monday. I hope to hear more from you. Respectfully, Phil. That was a lot. It's a well-written letter, too. Out of 12 years being in jail,
or prison, he's only been out for 4 months. And in the letter he even wrote, like he prefers it. I am afraid of getting released one day, that when the time comes, I'll just hurt someone again just to stay institutionalized. I don't even know what to write back. That was a heavy letter, dude. Like, for real, that was a heavy letter. So I'm gonna reread this. I'm gonna reply. Yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so we have our second letter here from Ken. Hi, Peter. So you're a personal trainer on working out. You're very active. Me too. I work in the chapel here. Yes, I am a gay Christian. Your letters are okay. Kind of hard to read, but okay. Yes, this place has its moments. So many dirty fighters that need weapons to act tough or act tough to people. They tried using weapons, shanks, on me. They can't beat me in fighting. I might be gay, but I know how to take care of myself. I am a survivor. My future in 2 years is to get out of prison or even to minimum security without bars and start on the process of rebuilding my life. Work hard, find love, find happiness, and work on a successful, prosperous life and help provide for my family to help the poor. So you just gotta want it and work hard for it and never give up. I am a finisher, not a quitter. I can't wait to be free. I miss my freedom, my family, my life. Sincerely, Ken, aka the Nature Boy. Woo. This is funny. Funny guy. This is tough, man. This is tough because look, this place has its moments. So many dirty fighters that need weapons to act tough. They've tried using weapons, shanks, on me to throw me off of the tear. I don't know what that says, but this dude is literally fighting for his life. Like this. So in Hollywood and movies and stuff, you always see people walking around with shanks or trying to fight one another, but you don't really know if that's real. But according to this, according to Ken here, it's legit. Even in Canadian prisons, like this is a Canadian prison. This isn't an American prison. This is crazy how you always have to be on alert. You always have to be on high alert. You can't let down your guard or else you're at risk for losing your life.
We got a letter from Phil. If you guys remember the last letter I sent him, I was basically telling him this is for a video and I'm doing this to kind of to get a glimpse of what life is like in prison. So he sent me a letter back, even though I gave him the option not to send me anything back because I know he was looking more for like a relationship and stuff like that. So we're gonna go home and we're gonna open this. I'm a little nervous, but I'm a little excited to see what he wrote. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's 12 pages. He wrote it on Friday, August 8th. Dear Peter, thanks for being upfront and straightforward with me. I do appreciate that. Yes, I'm looking for pen pals, someone to build a relationship with. I'm looking for true friendships or a rare find. Sure, I'm willing to participate in your video. I only request that I have. The only stipulation is that no mention of me being... Okay. So I'm not gonna mention that, obviously, since he asked me not to. Other than knowing a lot of people and having a lot of pen pals, I also stand up for prisoner rights by acting as a unit/range representative, but also by collecting and sharing information that may benefit any prisoner at any given time. For some people, they would rather serve time with a thief or a rat. You never know what to say to someone, what to share with a rat. Who are they gonna go tell? You can't trust a thief to go into your cell and grab something. I've always said I'm going to write a book. This week, I'm actually gonna start. It has to do with prison, square one. What do I really want? For everyone to get to know the real me before they start judging me for my past. To be treated as I treat others, with love, respect, passion, kindness, openness, and not to be judged. In my opinion, youth are more aloof to reality, as well as very vibrant. As we age, wisdom helps us to become ultra aware. If you have any questions, if you want to ask concerning about myself or from a different point of view from that of myself, you may phone the most important person in my life, my best friend who's like a second mother to me. You may also phone a good friend of mine. Oh wow, okay, so he gave me
a contact info to a doctor in British Columbia who knows him, which is actually a great resource I might call. So this next part I can't really say because he asked me not to mention it. I'm gonna respect that. So trigger warning for this next part, I guess. I was molested from age 6 to 11 by 5 male family members and 2 male and 1 female family member friends. At age 11, I went into treatment until I signed myself out of the center. I was bounced around until the age of 18. After a few weeks at home, I left the US of A to go live with Phil, his biological father, who is anti-LGBTQIA+. Unknown to him, I came out of the closet at age 12. When I looked or commented at good-looking guy in his presence, I usually got some nasty anti-gay remarks and a few times a beating. Instead of receiving love and care from my father, I received hatred, disgust, and violence. Do I love Phil? He's my father. I will always love and care for him. Do I forgive him for everything negative and perpetrated against me? Of course. Despite others telling me not to go send him money when I get money from all the class action lawsuits I am a part of, I still do regardless. Why? Because at least he's trying his best he can be to be my father. He could just say, screw it, my son is gay and I've missed all of his youth. Why bother? But he keeps trying to be there for me now. He cares, that's all that matters. And so I send him a little spending cash every now and then. I've been incarcerated in correctional centers for 11 years and 8 months out of the last 12. So he's been in prison his whole life. In my cell, I do push-ups in various ways: jumping jacks, dips, lunges, sit-ups, crunches, and burpee push-ups. When I was a small boy, my mother would do large, complicated 5,000 plus puzzles and I was allowed to help. Well, here's the end of a very long letter. I hope it helps you in telling my story. There's a few things I neglected to discuss, but will later on. The deaths of my friends. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask away. I am not easily offended. Respectfully yours, Philip. You put a little heart with a cross in the middle of it. I appreciate the fact that this guy is so transparent. I think it's almost like this guy's a victim of his past, of his circumstances. And the stuff that he's asked me not to share, I'm not gonna share. Based off of his circumstances and his past, I understand why he's incarcerated and why he's afraid to actually be released. And I'm going to kind of inquire about possibly sending him a puzzle, because he said he likes puzzles, and I actually have a lot upstairs that I don't even use. So I'm gonna see if I can send him a puzzle, maybe help him pass the time. It's a lot, it's a lot. And I'm gonna get into contact with his other best friend, who's a doctor, and then we'll get a little more of a glimpse into Philip's past.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, is this Dr. Shore?
Yes, it is.
Hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah?
This is gonna sound very weird, but I've been actually exchanging letters with Phil.
Uh-huh.
And he told me to call you because you guys have a close relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I can find out more about who Phil was, who he is now, and what the trajectory of his life is going to be in the future.
That's a good question. Well, I don't know. I certainly can tell you my sort of little narrow part of Phil's life, because I met Phil when he was, I don't know how old he would have been. Must have been, just in his late teens, early 20s.
When you first met Phil, what was he like?
Very young for his age, and I think even now he still is naive, perhaps, and definitely sort of, how would I put it? It was like he was 14. Always had, just full of ideas, most of which were totally impractical. But he was very, and he would come and walk my dog for me, because he loved walking Ginger, and just very enthusiastic about things, but didn't have very good social skills, didn't know how to live out in the world. He's very smart.
And he also told me about his father, Phil Sr. Back when you knew him, when he was walking your dog, did you have any interaction with his dad? Have you ever met him before?
Yes, I have. There was one time he came to see Phil in my clinic, and they're sitting in the clinic in the waiting room area. I don't think the clinic, and they were just having, it was like two kids talking together. They're talking about the kind of crappy shoes you get when you're in jail. And it's like, it was like a very strange, it was, it was just a strange conversation. Like Phil Sr. wasn't asking, Phil, how are you doing? What can I do to help you? It was just like, they're both about on the same wavelength. I thought that explained a lot of what was going on with Phil, because his dad is about the same. They're both just at the same level.
So you wouldn't consider their relationship a typical father-son relationship?
The whole the family relationships weren't good, and I thought, now I could be wrong, so you need to check this with Phil. But I thought like his mom and his dad were like step siblings. They weren't related, but they grew up in the same family, and that I thought was kind of strange, but I could have that wrong. Just goes to show, like, there was like that family had a problem with blurring of the lines of what sort of what you should and shouldn't be involved in, that kind of thing. So
is it safe to say that you believe if Phil had gotten the help he needed when he was a youngster, things would have turned out differently?
He is in terms of his gender identity, sexual identity, whatever you want to call it, he is so confused. From one day he's trans, the next day he's gay, then the next day he wants a girlfriend. He's just so confused.
He did express that to me too. All the abuse and everything he went through, he never got help or dealt with it properly. Phil expressed to me in his letters that he doesn't believe he deserves a second chance. He thinks he says he wants one, but he thinks after all he's done, he doesn't deserve one. In your experience, do you think he deserves a second chance?
Oh, of course he does. And I think but that's why but from his behavior, I certainly see that he's done everything. It's even like a lot of times, and I don't even think he realized, like when for example, they transferred him to medium security. He couldn't cope there. So he did, I can't remember what he did. He broke something. And whatever he did, so he was sent back to maximum. And then he was talking about how he wanted to get out on parole. And one of the people on the board, because I was able to listen to what they were saying, is if you can't handle medium security, how are you going to handle living in a halfway house? How are you going to handle being out in the world? And I think that was the first time it really occurred to him that, and he does so many things to sabotage as he gets closer to, every time he's going to get out, most of the time that he's spending in jail now has nothing to do with what he did originally. It has to do with fighting with the guards. It has to do with, there's a lot. It's just been added on and on and on. Even this fight that he just had recently where the gentleman died. That, this is all from being in a place where he should never have been in the first place. Yes, he's got a bad temper. That's because he's really a child in a man's body. And when he gets angry, he doesn't control it. I don't know. Maybe he has a tantrum, but to me, it just exhibits the behavior of someone that is not an adult.
So this next part, there was actually some sensitive information that Phil didn't want to be shared, but she told me a story how Phil was let out of prison at 7 a.m. with a bus ticket. And when he was let out, one of the stipulations was he had to find housing by 7 p.m. that same day. And if he didn't, he would be put back in prison for violating this agreement. Now, the bus ticket he got, that bus showed up at 6:45 p.m. So he had 15 minutes to find housing. He had nowhere to go, no one to help. His parents were living in a completely different area, no job, no way to find housing. So it was almost like he was set up for failure.
They basically did that. The police were just going to wait till 7:05, pick him up and put him back in jail. Well, I brought him home with me, and he stayed here for quite a while.
No, I appreciate you telling me. I think from the letters that Phil has sent me and his words, I strongly believe that this is someone who wants to turn his life around and is actively doing it. And he's doing it, incarcerated too. He's telling me, He's applying to be a unit rep. He's helping other inmates
Oh,
deal with their
Yes.
issues.
Well, it's nice talking to you, Peter.
Yeah, no.
Anything else I can do, give me a shout.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sorry about that.
A lot of the conversation, or some of the conversation, was blurted out to respect Phil's wishes for this not to be shared. But I will say this general blanket statement that there are some things that happened to Phil when he was a kid that I think changed the trajectory of his life. He's making decisions on his identity, on his life, on his actions based off of what happened to him as a kid. So his emotional age is that of a child, even though he's in his 30s or about to be in his 30s. It seems like he has good people in his corner, like not in the sense where it's like, dude, I'm just here for you. This woman actually took this guy home with her. A convict, someone who's been in the system most of their life. She took him home. And nothing happened. So, and something else that she said too is that she said that he's not the aggressor. He never initiates anything, he always reacts. And I think it actually makes sense because when you piss a kid off, right? Or a kid gets angry, what does he do? He lashes out. And I think this is the same thing in Phil's case, is that every time something happens, he's forced to lash out because he doesn't know how to deal with these emotions. He never learned how. And another thing, the system literally failed him. Like, you always see these prison movies about, there's always the bully, and then there's the white guys and the black guys, and there's always like different segregated. But I always thought that prison was about reform. You go in, you serve your time, you understand what you did was wrong, you broke the law, and you come out changed, you come out a 180. But obviously, when it comes down to the real shit, it doesn't happen. And Phil is a good example of the case where the system actually failed him, I think. Now, I'm not justifying his actions, He did assault a police officer, he's in for manslaughter. I'm not justifying his actions. What I'm saying is, these institutions should focus on reforming these people, putting them through therapy, putting them through whatever it is they need to do to come out reformed and heal and be remorseful for their actions. And whatever they committed, whatever crimes they committed, they understand what they did was wrong and they change moving forward. I just went on a crazy rant because I feel like I hate when things have been done a certain way for so long and it's so resistant to change, but it doesn't work. So it is September 8th. If you guys remember, we've been talking to two people specifically, Phil and Ken. It's been a while since Ken has gotten back to me. Not sure what's been going on, but this is from Phil. Oh, he sent me something here. He sent me a pre-trial canteen request. There's chips on there, green tea, rice, nuts. Peter, yeah, I phoned already and he's awaiting your phone call. I'll give your info to as many of my lifer friends as I possibly can. I know a few and maybe know a few here and there. Okay, so I'm not gonna read this next part because according to his wishes, he asked me not to read or share this specific information, but I did ask him what he was incarcerated for, or specifically what he did, and it seems like he told me right now. He says he doesn't remember much of it, and he actually turned himself in for the crime he committed. And I asked him, are you in jail because of the charge you have or because of what he just confessed to? He said no. I'm in jail for 1 manslaughter charge and 2 assault on a peace officer charges. Yes, despite all my good positive traits, I do deserve to be in prison. Okay, because I asked him, I said, do you think you deserve to be there? So he said, yes, despite my good positive traits, I do deserve to be in prison. I've taken the life of someone. In my opinion, I deserve to be in prison for life. And then I asked him who he was before he got incarcerated. He said, I was immature, impulsive, disrespectful, and cowardly. But now I'm mature, calm, respectful, kind, experienced, rational, and wiser. Who I want to be is very mature, responsible, respected, and loved,
calm, experienced, and reserved. I don't want to be a risk. I want to be healed. I asked him if it was okay to call his mom to have a conversation with her because she doesn't trust me, and he said no. Do not call my mom. She does not trust you. I'm working on this. I will phone my biological father soon and ask him if you can call him. Okay, so this next part's a little odd. I don't even want to I don't want to really read this. Okay, I'm not going to read it. I help people who struggle with depression to stay positive. I help people who get upset to stay calm and to stay calm and calm down. Even those I don't know well will listen to me most of the time. Why? Because of how I hold myself? Maybe because I give everyone respect, even strangers. I always give to get, never expect. So this next part is because I asked him if you're always on alert or on edge 24/7 while in prison. He said, yes, I'm always on edge and alert 24/7, especially with a cellmate. Working out a problem with a guy who's talking shit about you or calls you to a fight without violence, guys will think they can walk all over you. If you beat the shit out of a guy and put fear into him, and everyone else will fear and respect you. I believe we do have choices, but ultimately God has our choices and actions written in his book. It's fate. I also believe in karma, 100%. I'm very glad to have you reached out to me. I hope one day to earn your trust enough to give me your cell phone number so we can talk. I'll wait till tomorrow to send this letter out. It's too late, 10:30 p.m. Looking forward to your next letter. Smiley face, respectfully, Philly.
Like, their story is really kind of, and the question of second chance and responsibility is pretty complicated.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair answer. And, well, do you think Phil is a victim of his past and whatever he's gone through?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Like, a victim of different forms of pretty horrific family violence, and a victim of somebody who's, probably should have, been cared for by these institutions, ends up being brutalized by them, and just kind of, pushed further afield from a normal life or the chances of a normal life. So definitely a victim.
This is his grandma, Janine.
Hello?
Hi, is this Janine?
Yes?
Hi, my name is Peter. I got your phone number from
So, this phone call was a little emotional. You could probably tell from my voice as I'm recording this voiceover. So I chose not to include this. Just because, she was a very sincere woman, and a lot of the stuff that she said kind of broke me a little. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna sum it up with, she shared a lot of stories about Phil and how he was as a kid. He was this bright, ecstatic, very strong personality as a child, very smart, and it was kind of taken from him. So she truly loves him, and she believes that he deserves a second chance, even though he doesn't believe so. And she talks to him every now and then, which is a good thing. So yeah, it was rough talking to her, but I don't think that what she said on this phone call I wasn't comfortable enough sharing it.
He'll shovel his manure or anything. He's a good worker. Oh, yeah. He's a really good worker. He's strong. He's good. But
During the call with Janine, Louise actually called me back, and she texted me saying she would love to help. Louise is his aunt.
hello, how are you?
Hi, how's it going, Louise?
Yes.
Could you explain to me how Phil was like, what his life was like before any of that?
His mother, when she only sobered up the last 10 or 20 years or whatever it is, 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
But she was an alcoholic. when my father said, hey, your sister lives over there, I went over and I met her. And then she met Phil. So she's my half-sister, and then she met Phil, my half-brother, and they had Philip. And my brother was a drug addict back then. So a drug addict and an alcoholic created this human being. So you can see right away where there's a problem. I changed this man's diapers when he was a baby. I watched his parents scream at each other. Baby's on the couch next to me, and someone threw a lighter, and it bounced off the wall and went like 2 inches from the baby. My biological father is her biological father. She knew he was a predator. He molested her. He molested the 2 little sisters that we have. He molested our little brother. And Philip's in the background going, Aunt Louise, Grandpa Charette and the men in this cottage, they like to take showers with me and watch me. Oh, shut up, Philip, you're always lying. Oh, ignore him. I call Children's Aid. When they found out Philip was being molested, they did not protect him. They sent his son to go live with the mother, and he could still come and visit. So Philip got put in an institution in the States where they do not do regular schooling. He was hardly ever allowed to see his mom or talk to her. He basically was in an all-boys institution at 11 years old. He doesn't know what normal is. Nothing has ever been done to help him. From the day he's been born, my mother and I fought like hell to try to keep him here and to try to raise him ourselves. Because when he was little, he was such a bright, happy, loving boy. You could see he had FAS.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could see it in his face. You're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
They have a look. He has the look. I also saw his mother drink when she was fucking pregnant, so no doubt he was an FAS child. Like, do you get what this family's like?
Yeah, I'm beginning to understand a little bit.
His mother should be the one in jail for putting him in all that situation.
So, do you think Philip blames his mother for any of this?
No! Oh my God! She is his god. His mother is his god, and it's so fucking warped that he sees the one who put him in all those situations to get hurt and never fucking protected him once. He's got his heart on his sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to be loved for who he is without somebody taking advantage of him.
He told me he regrets his actions and, all the way up until what landed him there. I asked him, I said, considering everything you've done and everything you've been through, do you think you deserve a second chance? And he told me he doesn't. Do you disagree?
I think that he deserves to be, I think honestly our government needs to make like a community kind of jail for people with mental health things, so that almost like Bunkie Village. He would be able, if he had an integration system,
yes.
If he was given half a chance with the proper long integration system, I mean baby steps integration system, but he has to be taken away from those people. Okay. But I think he has a hope. If he was properly, slowly integrated, and it's something that Canada and the US do not have and don't care about.
Okay, so you made it to the end. There is no ending to this video because it is October 29th today, and I have not heard back from Phil or Ken. It's been about 3 months since I've heard from Ken and 1 month since I've heard from Phil. The last thing I sent him was a reply to his letter and a puzzle. So I have a rough idea of what I think happened, of why I think he stopped replying. I'm not gonna say it. I don't think it's my place, but I think I know what happened as to why he's not replying. The conversation I had with Louise was a huge eye-opener, and it was a completely different story from what I heard from the other people I spoke to, the doctor, the gentleman who decided or who wanted to remain anonymous, and Phil himself. So I don't think I'm gonna get a reply from Phil, but I hope I do. And there was also a lot of letters in this video that I didn't include that were sent to me from female inmates, other male inmates, because they either chose not to participate or the letters were kind of too aggressive in nature, which I didn't really think was appropriate adding to this video. But I feel a little bad because I actually was making arrangements to meet Phil in his prison, and I was working closely with the prison and trying to coordinate a time or a situation where I can come and interview him or ask him or do things that would kind of shed some more light on his story. All in all, I think Phil truly is a victim of how he was raised, how he was treated. He didn't really get the right help and the proper treatment to deal with everything he's gone through. He never really matured because he wasn't taught how to. I'm not really sure how I can end this. There isn't really an ending here that I can do anymore since Phil isn't replying, but I truly hope and I wish everything works out for Phil and he gets the help that he needs. I think this guy's truly suffered, man. Like, he's really suffered his whole life, and I'll pray for him, and I hope that one day he gets the help that he needs, the help that he deserves, and the help that he should have gotten. And I don't think he should lose hope.
Tell me about it. Like, you just see the light. You see that hope